The pick is in for the Oklahoma City Thunder at number 2 overall. And unlike the first overall pick, this is exactly what we expected. The Thunder have taken Gonzaga big man Chet Holmgren, 2nd overall in the 2022 NBA draft. You're talking about the consensus number 1 recruit out of high school in 2021. He goes to Gonzaga, is a part of a Zags team that was the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. Put up 14 points per game, nearly 10 rebounds per game, shot 60.7% from the floor. He is 7 feet tall, but just weighs 195 pounds, and that's the knock that a lot of people are going to give him, that he needs to bulk up a little bit. Now, go down and grade the pick. Type A, B, C, D, or F down in the comments section. Feels like a lot of people are either really high on him or are just putting him in the bust category already. So I want to hear from you down in the comments. What do you think of this pick made 2nd overall by the Thunder, a team that is continuing their rebuild under general manager Sam Presti? Here is what Chet did for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. So pretty solid numbers overall. Now, what's not on here is his defensive numbers. He averaged 3.7 blocks per game. That ranked top 5 in college basketball last season. In fact, watching him at Gonzaga, that is what stood out to me more than the offensive production. He's very good defensively, was one of the best rim protectors in all of college basketball last season, and that is what made him ultimately a top 5 pick, his ability to get it done on both ends. A lot of people thought that he had a shot to go 1 overall through this entire process, but he ends up being the 2nd overall pick. And when you're looking at all these top prospects, the top 3 were really clear. The question was, what order are they going to go in? We all knew Paolo Banchero, Jabari Smith, and Chet Holmgren were the top 3 picks. It ended up being Chet Holmgren at 2 overall. And this is why you subscribe, because we are the number 1 place for NBA draft content on YouTube. We're live right now on our main channel. I'm also giving you this video. We also broke down the Banchero selection, a stunning selection made by the Oklahoma City Thunder just now. So go down and subscribe. We're your number 1 place for all NBA draft content. Here is the scouting report for Chet Holmgren. Jabari Smith just got taken by the Rockets, by the way. Chet Holmgren is an elite shot blocker, like I mentioned. Great passing touch, great coordination for a player of his size. But the question is, when you're looking at this guy, can he add muscle to his frame to become the next great NBA big? He was our number 1 draft prospect here at Chat Sports, ahead of Banchero and ahead of Jabari Smith. However, Chase Senior, our NBA insider here at Chat Sports, had him ranked 7th overall on his prospect list. Talking more about Chet, this is someone that we kind of had our eye on as a high schooler because he was the number 1 high school player in the country. A lot of people thought he was going to go to Duke or Kentucky. He ends up choosing Gonzaga, and when you look at the numbers, they're pretty solid, but I'm going to get into why I want to look past the numbers here in a second. First, though, I want you to like this video if you like the pick. If you like Chet Holmgren, if you're a Thunder fan that likes the pick, if you're not a Thunder fan and you're high on Chet Holmgren, like this video. If you don't like the pick, I want you to go down in the comments section, explain why you do not like the pick of Chet Holmgren. So he's from Minneapolis, Minnesota. He's going to go down to Bricktown in Oklahoma City. It's a great city, by the way. Very underrated city. OKC gets a lot of hate, but I'll tell you, it's a pretty good spot. Chet will enjoy himself down there, and it makes a lot of sense that they would draft a big man because OKC is a little bit guard-heavy with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, and Lou Dort. 3 guards they feel really good about. Lou Dort is going to play the 3 for OKC. Chet will probably play the 4 or the 5. So maybe OKC ultimately made the right play going with the big man out of Gonzaga. Again, the numbers, 14 points per game, 10 rebounds per game. But obviously he was known also for his defensive presence, was one of the best defenders in the country. But Here's my thing with Chet is I look at what he did against other first-rounders who are big men. So both of these guys are going to get drafted later tonight. He played Jalen Williams twice this year. That was the second matchup against the Santa Clara big man. They played in the same conference, the West Coast Conference. So he was really a non-factor in both of these games against first-round picks. Both of these guys are going to be first-round picks, by the way. Definitely locks to be in the first round. So Jalen Williams, 6.6 rebounds on February 26th. Jalen Duran in the NCAA tournament second round, also a non-factor, just 9 points and 9 rebounds. And he just looked like the weaker link when he was going up against these guys. He was really no match for these two guys. And when I look at the West Coast Conference last year, and I watched Jalen Williams all year, and I watched Chet Holmgren all year, I was far more impressed with Williams. Chet Holmgren goes second overall here. I don't know if he's even the top big man in this class and in his own conference. So I have I just don't know how I feel about Chet Holmgren, to be honest with you. In fact, I think that you look at this guy and he might be a bust. Here are the Thunder's picks. So they're going to pick again pretty soon. So they're going to have the number 12 overall selection. Apparently they're interested in Shaedon Sharpe. They're probably going to have to trade up to get him. By the time you're watching this video, Sharpe might have already been taken. He's a lock to go in the top 10, might even go in the top 5. So that's the rumor, that they're interested in trading up for Shaedon Sharpe, a guard out of Kentucky. However, he didn't play last season at Kentucky, so maybe he'll fall because of that reason. Talking more about Chet Holmgren, and when you look at this guy, and I've given the numbers, and I want to get into my thoughts here in a second, but first I want to hear from you. Predict it. Do you think Holmgren is going to be a star in this league? We're talking about the next great NBA big man. Type boom in the comments section. If you think he's going to be a bust, type bust down in the comments section. I'm curious to hear what you think. To be honest, I'm going to have to type bust for Chet Holmgren. And the reason is, you look at this guy, he's 7 feet tall, he's 195 pounds. In fact, I think he's probably closer to 185 if we're being generous. I just don't think that he's going to be able to match up very well against some of these big guys in the league. I mean, I'm trying to think of him going up against Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis. I just do not see Chet Holmgren being able to match up with those guys. He is going to get destroyed. And I want to put a quote up on the board here in a second about Chet Holmgren, because I have to agree with some of the scouting that has been done on this guy. This coming from Sporting News. Gonzaga's memorable NCAA tournament matchup against Memphis and fellow future lottery pick Jalen Duran, as I mentioned earlier, offered a perfect snapshot of Holmgren's strengths and weaknesses. He blocked 4 shots and altered even more. But at times, he was simply overwhelmed by Duran's strength without adding more functional strength, especially in his lower body. Holmgren projects as a true developmental project, and that isn't what you want in a top 3 pick. I can't agree more. Shannon Sharpe on his show yesterday said this: when I look at Chet Holmgren, I think his frame, just think of his frame, and I just don't see it. I would have loved it a lot more if he had been consistent throughout the season. He shrank down to the level of competition. That's what's concerning. On a nightly basis, you're going up against dogs, and you're going up against the best of the best, and they will devour you. I think Chet Holmgren has bust written all over him. I just don't see him, with his body size, being able to get down in the paint and go up against some of the top big men in the league. He's going to get devoured, like Shannon Sharpe says. Now, if he bulks up, the potential is absolutely there. But the guy is scrawnier than I am, and I'm not the strongest guy, as you can see. The guy is 190 pounds, 7 feet tall. I just do not feel good about Chet Holmgren as an NBA prospect. I don't think I would have taken him in the top 5. The Thunder take him number 2 overall. But like I said, if he bulks up, the potential is there. He has to get a lot stronger, and that has to happen fast. If you haven't already, I should say, go down and subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate your support. We just reached 310,000 subscribers. Be sure to subscribe for more NBA content.